how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Cities Skylines. I hope you're having a good one because I am excited to be back. Today, we're gonna be getting to work on the cargo expansion for the airport that we built a few episodes ago. But before we get to that, I want to talk about the comments on the last episode, because last time I asked for some suggestions for things that we could build in the empty areas of Oak District. I want to say Oak District. Is that what this place is called? Yeah, it's called Oak District. We got the name right here, and we got an empty area down here. So, looking at the comments on the last episode, there were a lot of great suggestions. A few people suggested building things like this, little parks for kids to play in, and we actually obviously have one right here in Victoria Park. And I think we have another one up here. Yeah, in Briar Rose Park, we have this little thing right here. Now, they're obviously not functional, but I think they work really well as decorations. And what I love about the two parks that we have built is that they're divided by these two roads right here. We've got one in the north, one in the south. So we probably have a vicious gang war. We probably have kids going around with, you know, makeshift shanks and firearms, but that's something the police in the neighborhood can deal with. It's not really my problem to worry about. Now, I do love that idea. I do love the idea of building more parks, and we absolutely will do that. Some of the other comments suggested that we go ahead and build more shops, because of course we have a couple of little tiles of low density commercial here in the middle, but a few more probably wouldn't hurt. So at some point I might go to the Steam Workshop and grab a couple of little interesting sort of low density looking shops, and we'll build them out here in Oak District as well. And there were some other comments that said I should do more construction sites, which I think I absolutely will do. I love how these two turned out. I think, you know, loading the game up a couple of days after building these and just looking at them, I'm quite pleased with them. They fill the spaces in really nicely, and they don't feel horribly out of place. They do look a little bit weird, but they don't feel horribly out of place. And that's kind of what I was going for. But that's all going to be stuff for a future episode, because today, I don't think there's too much that I need to cover that's changed since the last episode. I'm pretty sure. Oh, yeah, no, I built this. That felt like a really fake forced segue there. Genuinely, I forgot that I built this. It is just another connection to the city. It's the same roundabout that we have here in the middle and by the airport. It just doesn't have the raised section and doesn't have the sign. And I actually want your opinion on that. Should we build a third Nerdenborough sign for this roundabout and have it face the highway like the others do as well? I'm kind of thinking we do it, because that's become sort of a trend with the highways into the city, but I want your opinion as well to see what you think, to see if that would be a bit of a good idea. But with that all out of the way, with all of the changes that I can remember covered, let's turn our attention towards two things. Number one, obviously, we're going to be working on the airport expansion. And number two, the topic of discussion for today's video, because today's video, I've got to be completely honest, it's going to be a bit rambly. It's not going to be ranty. I think rambly is the way I'm going to describe this one, because I'm just a little, I'm tired because I've not been sleeping very well, and I want to just talk about that. I just want to get it off my chest and ramble a little bit and just get things, just shout into the abyss. That's what today's video is going to be. This is going to be my soapbox episode of this series. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and just take out some sections of fence here, because we are not going to be needing these anymore. We're going to be expanding the airport down past this fence to go ahead and build the cargo expansion. And the way I want to do this is I'm going to just search cargo, because it makes my life a little bit easier. And actually, does it make my life easier? Is that what I'm looking for? Yeah. So I want the cargo airport terminal. And essentially, I want to put it like right down, right about like, oh, I just rotated that by accident. Right down as close to the highway as I can possibly get it. So what I think I'm going to do for one is I'm going to extend this road here and have it sort of hug the highway the entire way around. But I'm also going to change, I think, the way the highway connects to the other section of highway. So let's go ahead and start raising some things up and start getting rid of some of these slopes, because I think we can pull this off in a fairly interesting way. And while I do that, I'm going to get started on my, I don't want to say rant. It's not a rant. I'm not wanting to rant about anything in today's episode, but I just want to talk about what's been going on with me recently, because I realize I haven't really done that in a while, and I know I could just make like a generic channel update video and cover it in that, but part of what I love about Cities Skylines and what I love about the series that I do on this game is that, and longtime viewers will absolutely not necessarily back me up on loving this, but they'll back me up that this is pretty much what these series become, is they become, you know, sort of like podcasts. And that was never like an intentional thing. I never sat down and thought, oh, I'm just going to turn my Cities videos into like rants and podcasts and stuff like that. But it's kind of how I've always played these games. You know, when I was growing up and I would be like talking to people on, I don't know, what would have been back in the day, MSN Messenger probably. You know, I'd be playing SimCity or I'd be playing whatever while talking to people online and just chatting and stuff. So it's kind of nice to do that, to be completely honest. It's just how the series turned out, and I think it's sort of become my thing. I know everybody rants and rambles a little bit with their Cities Skylines videos, but I like to think, I know I didn't, but I like to think I pioneered it a little bit. It's a fun thought that I to be completely honest. Anyway, so I mentioned that I've not really been sleeping properly recently, and I just haven't, and it's been kind of brutal, to be, well, brutally honest, because here's the thing. I'm not that old, right? I'm 29 this year. I'm 28 at the minute. I don't know why I had to say that I'm 29 this year. That's not the relevant. I'm 28 years old. I'm 29 in November. But I've always joked that I feel older than I am. And I feel like this year, just with everything that's gone on, and if you've been following me on socials and you've kind of been following the channel for a bit, you'll be aware of some of the stressful events in my life in the last 12 months. I've started feeling my age, and I've started to appreciate sleep more than I used to, because when you're growing up, you're invincible, right? Like when you're a bit younger, you're invincible. You're nothing phases you. It doesn't matter if you're like, you know, it doesn't matter how late you stay up on Xbox Live or PlayStation or whatever. Like, it really doesn't matter. You can stay up all night and then like get up the next day 4 hours later and be totally fine, right? And I say that from experience because I did that. I think a lot of us did, right? You know, whether it was Xbox Live or PlayStation or what the hell happened that road, or, you know, you're up all night playing, in my case, sometimes RuneScape. That was a fun time. You know, you're a bit younger. You can get away with not sleeping as much as you maybe should. But I've definitely started to feel the effects of it in the last, maybe not even the last year, probably the last 2 years. Because what's happening now is when I mess up my sleep schedule, instead of it being how it used to be, which was like, oh, I've messed up my sleep schedule, but I'll just stay up tonight and everything will be okay. It's like a 2-day process. It's like a 2 or 3 day process to like get over it. Also, this fits perfectly and I love it. Absolutely love that. Such a perfect little spot for the cargo airport. Now, what I'm going to do with this, just real quick to be on topic for a second, is I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to connect that lower cargo road. So this medium cargo airport road right here is just going to connect to that road there. And then this guy, I'm going to connect over like this as well. And that, I'm thinking, is where my aircraft stands are going to go. Because I could go up this way and I could sort of put them sideways, but then getting taxiways down here is going to be slightly tricky. And I also want to bring a train over here. So I want to leave some space for that. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to extend this guy by like 10 units and then just bring this guy sort of straight over. And I think that's okay. So that kind of works out. What I can do here as well is something like this, and we can just cover that in aircraft stands, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Anyway, my point, all right, to get to the point of my ranting and rambling, I'm just not as able to like stay up all night as I used to be. It genuinely used to be like, go to bed at 6 in the morning, you know, we're going back a couple of years now, but it was like, go to bed at 6 in the morning and then, you know, get up like 2 hours later, get dressed, go to school, right? That was the high school vibe. And you'd be fine, right? You would get up 2 hours later, go to school. You'd be a bit groggy, right? You're not really paying attention during the day, but for the most part, you can get through the day, right? You get a Red Bull, you get a Monster. In my case, you know, back in the day, the whole emo thing was pretty real, so it was definitely Monster for me. But you'd be fine, right? You'd be totally fine. You don't really feel it after 2 hours sleep. These days, I get 2 hours sleep these days. I'm like a zombie for the rest of the day. I'm like a zombie for 2 days after. It's that bad at this point. And it's genuinely like a 2-day process to fix my sleep schedule. Anyway, the reason I'm ranting about this is because, wait, if I get 2 sets of taxiways? Oh God, I do. Interesting. Okay. The reason I'm ranting and rambling about this isn't just because I feel like it. Well, it is partially, but it's because recently I fixed my sleep schedule, right? I was up for like 30 hours and I went to bed and I was like, okay, I've fixed my sleep schedule. Great. Everything is normal now. And then the next day I managed to, for some reason, I was awake for like, I don't know, for 20 hours, no problem. And I wasn't tired until like 20 plus hours into the day. So what ended up happening was, after fixing the schedule, it just completely gone again. Also, I'm gonna get rid of this stand here just because this all lines up a little better without it. So we'll do that, get rid of you. And that's fine. But yeah, it wasn't even fixed properly for a day. It was just immediately gone. And so this is now the day after that, right? This is the next day where it's like, well, it was a great idea having a fixed sleep schedule, but here we are back at square one, back at having to stay up for, you know, 30 however many hours to fix it again and then hope that it stays that way. Because I'm just too old for this. I can't, man. My productivity goes to 0 when my sleep schedule is messed up. It genuinely goes to 0. And it's so frustrating because, you know, I took a lot of time off of YouTube these last couple of years, last 2 years, for various health things. And then for family things, etc., etc. There's always been a reason or whatever. And then I got back to it a few months ago and I was happy because, you know, I'm getting a good number of videos out here and there. Things felt productive. It felt like I was getting stuff done. I had a pretty good schedule. I was relatively consistent. And then just this last like 2 months have just been insomnia like crazy. It doesn't matter. I either sleep too long or I sleep too little or I can't get back to sleep. It's just been constant and it's so frustrating because I want to be productive. Like I want to be back making videos all the time, posting videos regularly. And I was so close to keeping a really good schedule. And then here's insomnia once again. It's frustrating. And I just wanted to rant and ramble about it a little bit because if, you know, I want to keep a consistent schedule with this channel, you know? I feel really lucky to be able to do this at all. I feel really lucky to be able to say that, you know, making these silly videos on the internet is my job, right? It's not something I ever want to take for granted, and it's not something I am taking for granted. It's just, it's hard to not feel guilty because, and I've talked a little bit about this before across the years as I've gone through this or gone through that. It's tough because YouTube for me, when I was, you know, growing up and when I was going through, you know, different tough times over the years, YouTube has kind of always been there as like a way to sort of escape a little bit, you know, whether it was watching, I don't know, back in the day, the Yogscast playing Minecraft, or Total Biscuit, looking at all the newest games or whatever it might have been, it was always such a great escape because it was like, hey, I don't have to stress about what's going on with me right now. I can just chill. I can just watch these funny guys playing Minecraft, or I can just like discover what the new cool game is that I have to play this month. Or I can, you know, get inspired to start making videos myself, which was what a lot of those guys did. And it's just, it's tough to not feel a little defeated when like I can't do that. Cause I you know, I will occasionally get comments or like, you know, I've had a really rough day and this video came out at exactly the right time. And I love that. I love that I can help with that, because sometimes making the videos is my way to get through a rough day as well. So if, and I don't really talk about that aspect of making videos, but it is genuinely sometimes making these videos is my process for getting through a tough day. So not being able to do it and not being able to do it properly really, really sucks. Because especially it's such a double-edged sword as well, you know? Because what I need is to be able to make the videos and kind of feel productive, but because I can't, it's such a vicious cycle that I need to break out of. Can I get the proper bulldozer? There we go. I need to figure out where this road needs to go here. So let me grab this guy. Yeah, it just sucks. It's just frustrating, and it's something I'll snap out of. You know, it's something I've dealt with for years, right? It's not something that's going to go away overnight. It's something that's just a bit of a process, and it's, you know, it's not something that's got me like, I'm down about it, but I'm also just kind of annoyed about it. You know, it's not something that's crippling. It's not something that's going to put me in like a bad place or anything. And I know every time I kind of talk about mental health, people always kind of, they're like, oh, here we go. It's nothing like that. It's just frustrating. It is just really, really frustrating. Anyway, enough about that for now. What I want to figure out is how I'm going to get this this train track in here. And I'm looking at this spot, and I'm really liking that. I kind of think that's a cool spot right there. Now, how I'm going to handle these tracks, I'm not really too sure, because ideally I would just punch them straight through here. So I'm wondering if I could sink these roads here, or if I could just raise them up and take them like up and over those other guys. I don't know. I kind of want to try and sink them, but I think I'd have to sink this entire section of road, which might look silly, but I'm going to give it a go, because I kind of want the train tracks to be at surface level. That's kind of where I'm at here. So let me grab all of these guys. And actually, you know what? Let me add a train track first. So we'll bring this guy out, and we'll just push it like, I don't know, straight to there. Should be fine. And now what I need to do is just lower all of these until the train tracks look acceptable, which is like there, I think. Like if I turn it into a bridge, I think that's probably acceptable. So the question at this point is, can I get like a slope that doesn't look ridiculous? And that's the real challenge. So I don't think so. I don't know about that. That doesn't really look like what I'm looking for. Yeah, no, that's not good. That's definitely not good. I think I'm just gonna have to make the train tracks go into a tunnel, because otherwise this is gonna look stupid. So bulldoze all of these guys, and it's annoyingly just gonna have to be a tunnel. So we'll deal with that. Let's connect this guy up as well. Get him at ground level. We'll go 10 units. We'll go, I guess, tunnel, and 10 units, and another 10 right about here. And I guess we just grab the two nodes and sync them until they don't look stupid. So if we just say, I don't know, level to that height. Oh, that did not work. All right. Are they the same height? It's kind of hard to tell. I'm not really sure what's going on here with these guys. Let's try that again. Let's see if I can get the tunnel thing to work. So that one worked. That one worked. That's good. So if I just go to surface level, grab both the nodes, and it just got weird again. Okay, well that's fine. Something like that's okay. And I can extend these guys out further. So we'll go like 10 units here, and we'll go like 10 units, say, here. They're both looking proper now. So if I grab both those nodes, I can sort of shuffle this one till it touches the highway, and shuffle this one till it's kind of in line with the other one. And it's not great. I don't love that the cargo stuff's going underground, but honestly, I think it's about as good as it's going to be. And then what I want to do for the rest of this train track is ground level, and essentially I want it to be in line with the highway. So it's going to be like here, and it's just going to go to here. It'll be elevated for that section. It'll be ground level for like, I don't know, we'll do like 5 units, and then tunnel for 10. I'm going to cut it across, and this guy's sort of just going to do like this. It's not going to be super neat, but that's about as good as it, you know, is going to be. So if I just go ahead and grab, I guess, what node am I looking for? I think this one, and say it's going to be the same height as this one. That looks pretty solid. It could probably go a little bit lower. And then I guess the rest of them just need to be the same height as the highway, and we're sorted. So basically this is what I'm looking for. I want the train tracks directly alongside the highway. I was thinking of putting them in the middle, but I think this lines up a little bit better and looks a bit more reasonable. So that's kind of what we're going for. And then I'm basically going to connect it to this section of track right here. Now, what I want to do with this is I kind of want to say ground level from here, and I kind of want to try and get away with like a big chunky curve. So that basically, now that's not exactly what I'm looking for, but you know, something like that, maybe a little bit further along to about there. One further back a little bit, like there. Yeah, so basically that. So if I go ahead and turn straight slope on, we get this, and that's not bad. That's not bad. That's a pretty good looking curve. And it flows really nicely into the airport. It gives us a connection to this station. Now, obviously, this is not a cargo train station. I'm well aware of that. Or sorry, this is not a passenger train station. It is a cargo train station. That's okay, because my thinking is I need to build a cargo train station, and I kind of need to build it, I guess, probably here. I think here is about the best spot for it. So how am I going to do this? That's going to be my question. I guess let's take out these buildings, because this is the thing. I need to remember that I set myself the goal of allowing myself the room to demolish stuff. So I guess that's kind of what we're doing here, is we're just going to demolish stuff and sort of see what happens. So let me get a nice road here and bring this guy. Oh boy, is this not gonna work out, is it? It's gonna be a bit of a pain. Let's see. So you're gonna go. Oh boy, this really is gonna be a pain. All right. I don't need I need that bit. I need that bit. Okay, so that's fine. I'm gonna get rid of that power connection. I'm gonna bring this guy to like, I don't know, here. And I'm gonna bring this down a little bit further, I think. So you're gonna come down to like there. And then this is all gonna be sort of in line with that road. So I'm just gonna space these nodes out ever so slightly. And then you to like here. And that should be fine. So that gives us a road nicely along the highway. These guys are all gonna get bulldozed. And you guys, what is that? That's a medical center, right? Yeah, medical clinic. Let's put you, I guess, literally anywhere else. And then these guys can get bulldozed. What is this? All right, biofuel bus depot or depot can go, again, literally anywhere else. So put you over there. What is this? Small warehouse. Okay. I don't know if we need this, but I built it at some point for obviously some reason, so I'm probably going to keep it. Yeah, it can live, I guess, in there. That's fine. So we got the warehouse over there. All right. So it gives us this nice clear space, and I realize this needs to move. I actually can't have that there. So let's put it, I don't know, where am I going to put this thing? Can I fit it in here? Oh, I totally can. Okay, perfect. Right there. Okay, so this is going to be the space for the cargo train station, which annoyingly doesn't quite fit the way I would want it to. Because what I'd be looking for is for this thing to be more like here-ish. Because then I can just run the track sort of through here, gradually raise it up or take it through the buildings or do what I got to do. But that, well, that is technically on a, is it on a road? I don't know if it's on a road. We also don't have power for the city because I've disconnected everything. So let me just fix that real quick, because that is probably going to be a problem. So you to there, you to there. All right. So is that technically connected to a road? It is. That's a little bit surprising. I've got to be honest. I'm a little surprised at that. But I guess what I could do is use the good old surface tool, and I guess I could just like paint in here so it doesn't look, yeah. Oh, that actually works really well. That's actually, that might be my my saving grace here, is that I can just make it look like it's all part of the same yard. And I think that's kind of what I'm gonna have to do here, is make this thing look like it's all part of the same yard. So let's paint all of this bit as well, and up to about there should be fine. And yeah, that kind of works. Okay, that's surprising. I wasn't really expecting it to work that well, but here we are. All right, so now what do I do? Because I'm thinking this needs to like rise up and sort of curve around here and connect to this guy, right? So elevated from there, like 10 units. So how am I gonna have to lower this? I think I'm gonna have to lower the highway. I think that's kind of where we're at. So, oh boy. All right, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's grab these nodes that cover the highway. And I guess we just lower all of these sections of road until they are at a reasonable height underneath the thing. Oh God, what have I grabbed? That is not what I want. I want you. So yeah, I guess we just grab all of these. Oh my God, I just deselected the ones that I needed. What am I doing? You and you. Let me not select buildings. Let me select you and you. Object height. This one. So they're now level. So I just need to push it down, right? To like there. Maybe a little bit further, like there. And then just do slopes. This is gonna look terrible. Okay, this doesn't look as bad as I thought it was going to look, but something's a bit weird because the physics of this tunnel don't really make sense. Which is a bit of a problem. Now I could do a bridge. I could turn that tunnel into a bridge. I don't really feel like I want to do that. So really what I'm realizing is I should have probably just sank this guy down, or I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this particular setup, but I'm going to allow it because I just want to get this going. I want to get this this train line in here. So we're gonna go 2, 4, 6. That's 8 meters up right about there. And essentially, I'm gonna see if I can be so cheeky as to just get a straight shot across here with this train line. So I'm thinking like here, and that's pretty good, but it is gonna cut through my castle. I don't know how I feel about that. I really like that castle. I don't know if I'm gonna have much of a choice though, unless I sort of push it this way first and then curve it back. I think that might be what I have to do. So sort of go that direction there, and it's gonna just slightly clip the castle, but it's not gonna be as bad. So it goes to like here, and then it curves again, I guess. So maybe turn off guidelines, turn on guidelines, and do this. It does look a bit silly, but I think that's kind of what I'm gonna have to do. Otherwise, I'm taking out a castle that I really don't, you know, as much as we're kind of trying to, you know, industrialize a little bit, we're trying to, you know, get more cargo moving around. I don't see the city getting rid of like, you know, a medieval castle site or something like that. I just don't really see that being a thing. So I think this like weird, I mean, it's the train line's going over, you know, right by the castle, but I don't think the city would like, you know, get rid of a medieval castle for this train line. I don't see that being a thing. So I think this is probably good enough. That slope is, maybe we'll do this. Maybe that road could, well, actually, you know what? Let me slope you, and I'm going to just lower the road, I think is what I'm going to do. Just ever so slightly. I'm just going to lower the road so that the trains can comfortably get over there. Again, messes ever so slightly with the physics of the tunnel on the right, but I'm not really too worried about it because I'm already messing with it, so I might as well continue. And I guess we'll just deal with it as it is. I might just get rid of the tunnel. It's a definite possibility. Or I'm going to have to turn it into a bridge. I think I'm going to have to turn it into a bridge, but then I have to get rid of the castle. And I don't want to get rid of the castle. Or, and I guess this is probably a better idea, I could just move the tunnel to be back here. And then this road gets changed into something else. And looking at it, actually pushing a road through here probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah, we're going to have to do something with that tunnel. It looks ridiculous. But for now, at the very least, let me just move some of these trees and let me just see what happens with cargo trains, because they should now be functioning. And that's kind of the exciting thing. As weird as this might look, it is now going to be, you know, leading to functional cargo trains. I should also probably put some fence. Hey, I want to detail this first. Before it gets up and running, I want to detail it. And I'm going to use oil industry fences because I think they're going to look pretty good. So basically, we're going to go to, say, there. We'll do this. We'll do this. And I guess we can do this as well. And I'm just going to connect it around there. Since the trains are going to be going to a dead end, we might as well. And what I can do is just move this guy to be a little bit further forward. Move this guy to be a little bit more like, say, there. And we'll do the same down at this end as well. Just move everything out a little bit. So it looks like this train station takes up this entire chunk of land, which really, it sort of does. So that's fine. Now we'll move you to there. We'll move this guy to about that spot and to about there. So that gives us a nice kind of opening for the trains to get through. And at this end, basically sort of shuffle this guy down a bit. Grab these nodes and move those down as well. And let's see, to about there should be good. And you come down just a little tiny bit to about there. Okay. So that looks fine. I think that's a decent kind of perimeter fence around this thing. I am absolutely going to have to go and get some trucks and things like that to make this look a little bit better, because we don't really have any containers or anything. But I guess what I can do is I can maybe put 2 or 3 of these trucks here into this space. So if I go ahead and, how do I rotate these again? It's not that button. That spaces them out. That one is, that's the rotate. So if I do like this and I just move them closer together, I don't necessarily need 5 of them, and I should probably rotate them the other way. I don't necessarily need 5 of them, but I don't think 3 would look too bad if we kind of had them parked like there. So park them there, place them, delete, say, 2. That looks all right. We can maybe place some containers or some boxes or something near them. And speaking of containers, that's essentially what I'm going to just dot this place with, because we have a bunch of them over here. So if I go ahead and place like a bunch of containers here, it's just going to make it look like the yard has more going on than it otherwise does. So angle wise, let's set it to, I guess, 0 degrees. And spacing wise, let's just bring them a bit closer together, something like this, and get them kind of nicely along the fence, say about there. Should be pretty good. And I think I'll just go ahead and copy those and move them forward to about that spot. I'll place another bunch of them as well about there. And I'm going to just go in and delete just a bunch of them to make it look like, you know, they're being picked up and whatnot. So something like this. So again, it doesn't look completely symmetrical either. And let's see, let's maybe get rid of those guys as well. So it just looks like there's some, you know, kind of laying about. I think that looks pretty good. We could also get some decals too to make it look like there's, you know, dirt or, you know, a bit of grime on the concrete, especially where the containers are going to be getting set down and picked up and all that. So we can do a bit of this to sort of sell the effect that it's a working yard, because it is, right? It's a working cargo yard. So a bunch of these decals like that. We could probably throw some over here as well, although it doesn't look like it's going to let me place them right where the building is, but that's not really too big of a deal. Do something a bit like this, something a bit like that. Let's see, what else have we got around here? What is this one? Destroyed road. Ooh, I like that one. We'll just kind of throw it into a couple of spots to make it, you know, give us a little bit of variety on the decal. So right about there seems pretty good. We've got this one too, which can go right by the... That one doesn't look like destroyed road at all. But this one can kind of, you know, give the idea that there's maybe a bit of wear and tear on the road right here where all the trucks go as well. And what else have we got? What is this? Old asphalt. Okay. I don't mind this one too much. We can maybe do a little bit, say, there and there again to make it look like that one's a bit more worn down than the rest. We could do like a little bit, say, here. Maybe it's a bit of patchwork or something they've done on the asphalt where all these trucks would have been parked, just to kind of patch it up, make it look a bit less perfect. Or, you know, maybe that's new asphalt. I don't know. I want to do something to detail this space. And that's helping bring it together. Still a lot of empty space, but that's helping. Oh, this is kind of cool. We have cargo planes coming and going, and they look kind of fantastic. I've got to be honest. They look really, really great. They're also kind of huge, which, I mean, they're cargo planes, so of course they are. They're gonna be huge. The one thing I will say is that no one is bothering to use my cargo train lines, which is a little disappointing. I was kind of hoping they would, but they most definitely are not bothering. And I have added this little bit of road right here to see if that's maybe part of the problem. Maybe they can't actually get to the cargo train terminal. I'm not really sure if that is the issue or not, but we will find out, I guess. For now, I'm just going to throw another couple of cargo containers into all of this space just to fill it up, essentially, just to see what we can do to make this place look like it's, you know, busier. And we'll do some of these guys kind of over here as well. So we'll go for like a row of these blue containers, say right about there. We'll move them a bit closer to the fence, something like that. And I want to do some of the regular containers just in front of these guys, just for a bit of variety, really. So we'll do something like that. And what we'll do is cut maybe a few of these guys out of here. Something a bit like that, just to change it up a little bit. And I think I want to get some more trucks. The problem is I don't have any other than these guys. I mean, I do have things like excavators. I have these excavator buckets as well, but what I'm really looking for, I think, are trucks. So I guess, I mean, I could place pallets as well. Might look a bit weird having some pallets down here, but I don't know, maybe a few pallets of goods and a couple of forklifts would be kind of the way to go. So something like that, and maybe, I don't know, something a bit like this as well. We'll just sort of dot them next to each other a little bit. And then if I go in and just tear a few of those guys out, I guess I can throw, I don't know, I guess I can throw a forklift or two in there. And we'll see what it looks like. So let's see, forklift, we got this guy. We'll place one, say, there. We'll place one about there. That one's floating. That's not exactly where I wanted that. So we'll place one down there. We'll place one about, say, there, I guess. And that looks all right. That helps to make it feel a little bit busier down there. I'll place a forklift sort of tucked in there as well, so it feels like part of the building. And I'm going to just place one sort of parked beside the building as well. So a forklift right about there seems pretty good. And yeah, I don't think anything is actually using this cargo train station, but that's fine for now. I guess we're just sort of going to have to deal with the fact that nothing's using it. It at least exists. And we do have cargo coming and going. I mean, cargo's coming in via plane, which is great. It is making my airport considerably busier, but I guess that's fine. And I guess, speaking of the airport, something I totally forgot to build was the airline headquarters building. Now, this thing's kind of cool, because what this thing does is it lets me have my own airline. So essentially, I can be like, I can make my own airline. I can, you know, do my own thing. Now, I think it'll be kind of cool here, sort of down by the cargo building, because it is an admin building, but I'm also realizing I could pick it up and I could put it like here, and I want to say there's a better spot, because we still have so much empty space over this way that we really might as well use it. So I'm going to put it here. I'm going to move it close to that path. And essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another path around it. So make sure it's ground level, which it is. We're just going to bring this guy back to like here and go across. And I think that looks fine for the airline headquarters building. Just lower it down at the end there. And I think what I'm also going to do is I'm going to put a forestry fence around it. So back to about there, and down to about there. And that fairly nicely, you know, surrounds it, nicely encloses it, makes it feel a little bit more of an important building, gives it its own, you know, plot of land to work with. So I do like that. We'll just go ahead and move the fence down a little bit. We'll move this guy down to about here. Move this guy down to about there, I think. Let's see, something like there is pretty good. I move this guy just in to about that spot, and I think that's fine. I think we could probably get some trees in this back corner, something like this, and maybe, I don't know, maybe one of these guys or one of these smaller guys on that corner and that one as well, with maybe some color just hanging over as well. I think that's pretty good. I don't want to go too crazy with it. I really don't. I just want the airline headquarters building to kind of just look nice. Okay, that's what I'm going for. Because really, I want to make an airline. I'm going to keep Chirp Air as the name for now, but do throw suggestions for names in the comments below as always. And the livery on the plane, I think is going to be, it's going to be that one. And the color of the planes, we're going to go for pink. I think we're going to go for like a light kind of pink. And I think that's pretty good. So not bad. Not bad at all. There's one of my planes right there. Doing some weird stuff. That's definitely one of my planes. That's what that is. Definitely one of mine. But there we go. We have an airline. We have a cargo airport that's sort of working. It has a lot of land around it that I need to do some stuff with. Definitely need to do some stuff with that. But I don't want to go crazy on hyper detailing today. I don't want to be like, oh, we got the cargo airport, we got all these trees and all this stuff to go around. I wanted to get this thing functional. Although it is annoying me how barren this whole area is right now. I'll tell you what I will do. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's just get a section of fence here. So let me go in. Let me get the airport one. Let me go from here. And I just want to run it down to about there. So that this thing is at the very least secure, right? I think that's a pretty good idea. This guy can run to here. And can run to there. Get rid of that bit. And that kind of nicely surrounds and secures the airport. Now, people can run underneath the highway if they really want to. Not that they're going to, but they could. If they absolutely decided that was a thing they wanted to do, they could run underneath the highway. Hopefully they don't do that. But we'll go ahead and get a little bit of security underneath the highway at some point as well. For now, I just want to go ahead and put this farm fence in here. Because to be honest, I think we can probably get away with just a little farm fence separating the train line from the highway, because no one's really going to be out walking around here anyway. So what I can do is this guy right here. And I apparently missed one of the nodes. That's fantastic. That's totally fine, though. We can just move them all over one at a time. So something like this, and something like this as well. And I think that looks all right. It could definitely be a bit of a bigger fence. We could maybe go for the zoo fence and see what it looked like. But I kind of like this one. I kind of think the farm fence is the way to go. I think it nicely separates things without being too imposing. And what I really want is people to be able to sit here and see trains go by at some point. I don't know why I think that would look cool, but I think that would look kind of cool. I just don't see any trains. I don't see any trains happening for a while. I should also really do something about this death wave and the massive garbage problem that we're having. Which, now that I think about it, is probably because I got rid of 3 garbage processing things and never replaced them. So, I should probably do that. I should probably definitely do that. So let me go 20 units here. Let me do this. I'm just going to do a bit of a quick and lazy method for dealing with the garbage problems right now. Just going to throw a bunch of these guys in, essentially. And I will eventually get around to figuring out a more permanent solution for garbage. But right now, I just want to throw a whole bunch of these guys in so that we don't have to worry about it right now. And I mean, it's gonna be a bit of a traffic problem, but it's fine. We'll deal with the garbage that's piling up, and hopefully that's gonna solve the money problem as well. Because good lord, we have definitely got a bit of a money problem. But I do think most of these deaths, right? This guy. So, what killed you? Doesn't say. All right. How's death care doing in general? How are we looking? Yeah, crematoriums are fine. There's a lot of dead people needing transported, but we have enough crematoriums for it. So I'm not super stressed there. In terms of budget, I mean, I don't think I can increase the budget for death care. I can increase it for medical, but, wait, can I increase it for death care? Is that a thing? I don't think it is. I think healthcare just does it. So we'll be fine. The garbage trucks will head out, they'll do their thing, and everything's going to be all right. I should probably connect this industrial area to the highway at some point, but for now, it's fine. It's not a huge deal. I'm also still noticing absolutely no one going to this cargo train station. I'm not angry. You know? I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.